Everybody, what's up? Welcome back. We are here with another incredible night of card sports. We have some awesome decks to showcase tonight and some awesome players. We are looking at Dragobox and Eggmill tonight. This tournament is a Cardboard Warriors Async Tournament, and so this is going to be round one. And I think we are in a just like in a great spot to sit back and watch some great Pokemon tonight. How are you doing, Logan?
Yeah, doing great, Ghoulies. Excited, like you said, for an awesome match between again two really phenomenal players. Some of the guys at the top of their games right now. Definitely excited to see where this match goes. I know that one of these decks is near and dear to you, another one near and dear to the team, just in general. So excited to get into it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like watching two of my children fight each other. It's really it's a sad night, but it's exciting to be able to show off the decks. Just like a quick little overview of what we're going to be looking at tonight. We are looking at from the Eggmill side. Eggmill is a control grass deck that aims to be able to shut off the opponent from playing a majority of the cards of their deck. It has a few different routes it can take. It plays very powerful locking Pokemon with locking abilities and attacks. So you're looking at a deck that has three different Pokemon that can item lock, and you're also looking at the Executor, which has a blockade attack that prevents the playing of supporter cards from the opponent. And so the end goal of what we're looking for is uh, the egg mill can gust trap something in the active spot. And then by using Tool Jammer, it prevents tools from having any effects in the active spot,
Hmm.
as well as their ability to play item cards and play supporter cards. And so then the opponent can literally just attach energy. And the deck plays energy denial. So its game is to trap something active with this powerful combo and then slowly start to mill the opponent with powerful supporter looping.
All right, guys, you
And
can
kind
let
of
it
like on
rip.
the flip side, like with the Drago box, we're also looking at a deck that kind of Loki aims to prevent the opponent from playing. So it likes to be really aggressive. It's probably one of the most aggressive decks in the format, and it is great at controlling the opponent's pace of play and forcing them to be on their tempo.
Yeah, so looks like we went ahead and kicked the guys off because we know the Drago box deck. That's been one of our brainchilds. It's been on the stream several times now. So it looks like we've got Espio starting us off with this game, going first. Does start the can't really make that out. A little bit bad
It
at
looks like
far.
we're starting a Shaman,
Okay.
Execute, and we have a Roselia as well.
Hmm.
So that's going to be really good there. That Shaman is a very, very important card in this matchup. It has a bench barrier ability, so it's going to really, really limit Lee's Raging Bolt, um, and really let Espio set up the attackers he wants, set up the support he wants, all on a basic Pokemon. So previous to this, we were playing Rapska in the list, but the Shaman is just a lot more consistent. There's positives and negatives, but the speed and consistency of the Shaman is really great there. Um,
Hey Espio, can you pull that artisan down on your map road?
yeah, and it also looks like he's really setting up that you know he's threatening a bunch of different things. He's got the Roserade potentially available to next turn, which will literally give you pure imagination and piecing together whatever you need. And then also it looks like he did not get a Venonat down on the bench,
Hmm.
but he does have the option to potentially supporter lock. And then he also has access to Badu next turn as well to come up with that. So we have a lot of threatening options, um, which we're going to see how Lee deals with that.
We do know that if you're Lee, this Pokemon in the Raging Bolt is not one that you particularly want to have out in this matchup, as I personally have seen it can kind of be a little dangerous in terms of the energy. And then
Hmm.
Drampa is also, the perfect Pokemon, right? So this is the Pokemon that we know to run to for this matchup because obviously its attack cost is all colorless energy. So the instant that Espio starts trying to deny those energies, it allows us to kind of keep those on board a little bit more. Tatsugiri,
Yeah,
I also don't hate because we know that Tatsugiri can knock out Badoo. We, see those lines from Lee from time to time in Innovation. Must also think that the hand needs a little bit of a boost, especially for consistency going down the line. So I don't mind seeing the Tatsugiri either.
sure. Another important thing about Tatsu in this matchup is it's able to help you consistently thin your deck of cards, so it increases your odds at drawing energy, which can always be really, really strong. Um, Now, a key factor there, you were talking about Raging Bolt being a liability. Let's talk about why that's a liability. I mean, we're looking at a deck that has energy denial in it, and then on top of that energy denial, it has energy recovery prevention, which is going to be really huge. Um, and so Espio is going to be playing kind of like this game where he's going after a certain energy type. So he might choose to like say, "All right, I'm going to deny you of all your fighting energies,"
Hmm.
and by doing that, it makes a lot of the attackers like completely useless because
Right.
Dragon has that crazy energy requirement types, and that's what makes the Drotagon so strong in this matchup. But we do see a TM energize, which is a strong place to be,
Hmm.
um, and that's going to really put SPO on a clock as well. Um, but on the flip side, we are seeing a TM, or sorry, a Evo Soda, and that's going to get that Grottle out, and that is going to just start setting this board up, which is right where SPO wants to be. This is a very, very strong play.
Yeah. Yeah, very good place to be if you're SPO, and a very scary place if you're Lee sitting on the other side looking this down.
Exactly. And it looks like, oh, wow. It looks like we might be getting a super fast, aggressive TM energy or evolution play. And that's going to really put Lee on the back burner. You talk about like Lee could be staring down a Torterra in no time, as well as a Vileplume. Um, and while Lee has an extremely great tool in this matchup in Fava, being able to hit off the Luxcape during item lock, he still has to overcome 190 HP Pokemon.
Yeah,
And
and
did
got
Espio?
got some questions in the chat asking about timer. So beforehand, these players did agree to play this round as a timed round, so they will be observing the 90-minute timeline for this. So
And Logan, did we see Espio use the Sun Drenched Shell ability at all?
no, I don't believe so, Ghouls.
Hmm.
Not that
Okay,
I
so
caught.
yeah, I didn't see it happen either. And just for anybody who's wanting to learn about Eggmill, a really important factor about the deck, while it doesn't have a huge
Here we go. Lee's gonna go ahead and start this targeting.
yeah, he's
Another
gonna
one of
hit it.
those tools. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, very nice. So he's identifying the Grottle as the big threat here, which is pretty interesting because, to be honest with you, the Moth is very, very troublesome. We see a flip on the Gloom. The Gloom has an ability that lets you flip a coin once a turn, and if heads, and if your opponent does not have a full bench, you get to look at their hand, and then you can take a basic Pokemon you find there and put it onto the bench. And now, while this is obviously can be very disruptive for getting Pokemon in play that your opponent might not want in play, that could be a liability for a Executor trap. Um, it's really good for hand knowledge. And so being able to, um, yeah, being able to just straight up go in and this is a nasty play right here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
Lee
being able
committing
to,
that resource in the boss and not being able to take the knockout, now immediately punished by the ability to get this float stone online. We've got
mhm.
the Venomoth established as well. I would imagine that we're going to see this the net ball committed for an energy so that we can get the moth attacking. Yeah, it's a really good board state for Espio here.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing too is it really puts Lee in this uncomfortable position where he's not only is he now item locked, but he's going to have to flip every single turn to even get an attack through because of
Right.
Venomoth's confusion, which is very, very hard for Bolt to deal with.
Yeah, and apologies for everyone on seeing Espio's side of the board. Espio's side of the board is pretty unclean in Discord too, so I can't really make that any sharper. But um, if you see anything, have questions, be sure to reach out in the chat and we'll make sure to address them.
Yeah, exactly. And what we're looking at, just to clarify for everybody, we're looking at a Venomoth in the active spot, a Grottle on the bench with a Float Stone with 60 damage on it, a Gloom, a Shaman with an Energy, Grass, and then an Execute and a Roserade. So again,
There you
he's in a very nice position.
go. You're gonna roll for
Looks like
confusion
Tails.
and
Yep.
tails. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
And if you're Lee, that is not what you want to see. And if you're SBO, you are very happy to see that.
Yep.
Cool. So again, just going back to Eggmill and kind of talking about, what it's wanting to do right now. I mean, he is wanting to be able to like start chipping away at those energies, and he's wanting to thin his deck down, and he's wanting to get to the very bottom of the deck, basically as soon as he can, so he can start looping some really important pieces. And again, he's going to check for the Gloom flip. It looks like that's a Tails. That's really
Again.
unfortunate.
Yep.
And yeah, he's going to go ahead and go in with that Sundrent Shell ability. So as you can see, Eggmill might not have a lot of onboard draw, but what it does have is a lot of deck thinning. So you can be thinning out every single turn with the Grottle, and then you have a bunch of search stadiums. You play Turffield, that lets you be able to search for a Pokemon. So as you're thinning out, you're increasing those odds over time to be able to get exactly where you want to be. But right now, Espio looks like he is in a fantastic position.
Yeah, I would agree. So right now, Lee definitely looking for a way to start attacking effectively and using these energies that are already on the board to a premium before they start, being taken away from him. Um,
Yeah.
a little bit of a slow start for Lee on this dragon side in being confused and then not being able to move around right there.
Yeah, it's real. He's really feeling that pressure of confusion. And you know what? Lee is now at the spot after Espio attacks this turn, so he'll go up to 90. If Lee flips Tails, he will now be in knockout range, unless if he gets his Fighting Fury Belt or something like
Right.
that. And again, that's not where you want to be. After that happens, you have to promote the Drampa, and if you promote the Drampa, take the knockout, then you're going to be dealing with the Torterra.
Yep.
And after that, there's no energies in play.
All right, there we go. We see the 30 hit, Autumn Lock, Confusion still sticking. So this turn is going to be pretty big.
Yep. Let's see what Lee has in hand. Did I see a Clara right there? I don't know if you happen to see it.
I didn't happen to see.
Yeah, so Clara is really strong here. I think I definitely see a Volkner. Volkner not doing too much. Maybe a little bit of deck thinning for Lee. Another thing to talk about with Lee specifically in this matchup, we mentioned the Faba. Okay, but he also has Lost City.
Yes. Yes.
which is very, very, very important. Um, you being able to lost zone any Pokemon in Gym Leader Challenge can be just devastating, right?
Yeah.
As a
Game
chosen.
ending. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Logan, as your experience with just Lost City here, who do you feel like you would try to use the Lost City on against Eggmill?
Yeah, it's a really tricky kind of place to be because the problem children are all the same every game, no matter what. And the problem is that you're not going to be able to target all of them over the course of the game. So getting rid of the Torterra line is obviously very important, but to a certain extent, if you don't get rid of it early enough, then it doesn't really feel like it matters. Um,
Yeah.
I think probably as the course of the game drains on, the Vileplume is not the worst player to be targeting to try to get
Oh,
rid of.
he flipped tails, Logan.
Not good. Not good, Ghoulies. Definitely not where
Oh,
Lee wants to be here.
yeah, you hate to see that. Okay, so we're looking like it's going to be a strong knockout, and you know what?
Yeah.
He attached the baton, but let's be real here, Logan. He does not have good targets for that baton.
No.
Like I don't even
You're
know
gonna
who really
send
flipped
the.
that. Okay,
Oh,
we might be seeing it. We might be seeing a scoop here.
I think that was a heads roll off of the Gloom. So
Oh,
Espio has the hand knowledge now of what Lee has access to.
yeah. Honestly, you don't
No,
put the
you don't put the
Drotagon
Druddigan into
down.
play. No.
Yeah. You don't do that. Okay, so we're just gonna see a knockout here, and then we're gonna see a promotion with the yeah with the Tatsu. And you know what the cool thing is though? It's not wasted. It's just like now he has the free pivots
Right.
with the Tatsu.
For a couple of turns here at least. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And so, what supporter do you think he's looking for here?
Goodness. You probably want a way to, because like you said, the problem with walking into this knockout with the Drampa is that you're looking at a Torterra the next turn. So you're going to have to
Yep.
establish some way to have another attacker on the board now. We know that Druddigan's in hand. So, and you see that the 2 fire energies already committed into water to the Drampa. So
Yeah.
the valid targets, and that's a water and a lightning on the Geary.
Yep.
So both
And
the
we have
blues accounted for. Yeah,
Two fires are going too. So, Drudagon, if he can flip another heads and get the Drudagon in play now, that's going to be just absolutely feral. And you know what though? Like this knockout here is actually a little threatening because he they're going to be tied at. Are they tied at prizes now? Yes.
yeah, 5 and 5.
He's not going to be able to attack with Torterra this turn.
Yeah, no energy attached yet, right? That's what I
Yep.
was checking to see. Mm-hmm.
No energy, and then counter and reversal are not live. So even though we have, oh yeah, he got the head, so he's definitely gonna probably want to put the. I would imagine he would now want to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
And we do see the Faba in hand, the Clara in hand. Those are both really, really strong options right now. But he does not have Guzma, which I assume he would probably want Guzma right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's going to have to really try to mitigate this hand. And it looks like he's going to sacrifice the Rose Raid, which is a really good spot to be in because you can then reuse it when
Right.
you recover it. So what he really needs to see here is one of two things. Okay, and it looks like it's going to be a pass. So that tells me he either has no energy, he needs Lee to take another knockout to activate the counter energies.
Could just not have it too at this point. We've
Yep.
not seen the Sawsbuck become established quite yet.
Yep.
And we're not seeing any searching out from the grotto either. That's something to note.
Yeah, you got to be thinning in it right
Mhm.
here constantly. But with him benching um, the Deerling, I
This
definitely
turn.
am predicting him to get the Sawsbuck on next turn.
Yeah, but then, I mean, if you do that, and if you have to commit Sundrent Shell to do that, and we're not Sundrent Shelling for your Torterra,
He
seems
might
like
already have it in
he
hand,
could,
though.
he
It's the
could.
other thing.
hmm
Hmm.
But like we're assuming that he has a, a quite a few combination of cards in hand right now. A counter
Right.
or reversal energy, out to Torterra and Sawsbuck. Like
Yeah.
there's there's a lot to be asked right this second. We
Yeah.
see Lee
He
play the letter. Lee's going to get that energy down on the Drudigan. Obviously not the energy that he wants on there, but
It is a retreat
sure.
option. Yeah, that's very strong. Okay, so we do see the knockout. And you know what though? Like, see what we got here.
Yeah, you can see the hand now a little bit
Here,
better. I don't see any
okay,
green
there is.
cards.
Yep, there's the
Good
Salzburg.
luck.
And I would really have liked to see a maybe he already has all the Pokemon. Maybe I don't know. There's a few interesting things that he could be thinking here, but I always like to. Oh, okay, that's gonna be gross. We got the Surge, and he might be trying to banking, or he might be banking on hitting another supporter that's maybe in the prizes this turn. Um, Prize mapping is probably the most difficult thing when it comes. See, there's the Torterra in hand.
How do you
So
play? How do you play the letter Spence? Is Vileplume? Is that Vileplume or Gloom in play, Ghoulies?
it's Vileplume.
Yeah, so the letter should have been.
Was there a hex?
I can't tell.
Or the
Uh,
letter should be in hand at
yeah,
this point.
yeah, if that was the case, yeah, but the lightning would have needed to be in the deck.
Well, because he Volknered, uh,
Sure.
and I think he
Sure.
grabbed the. Yeah. All right, let's see if Espio can. Oh, you know, handiwork. He might not have it. He might have to really be digging here. If he grabs Arvin here, that gives him another out to be able to.
I think
Um,
for clarity's sake, I am going to kind of stop the guys and let them know that if that was not a hex play, that letter should be in hand. I think now is probably the time where we shouldn't let it go any further, just to make sure.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Hey guys, I want to correct something real quick. Lee, I think that you can't play that letter, right? Good deal. Yep, absolutely, guys. Wanted to let you know now. Okay, cool. All good. And the lightning energy was off the Volkner, so no broken board state, no harm, no foul.
Oh, good lord. Okay, so he does have it, and that's devastating.
Yeah, without having Reshiram down, we know that Clara is in hand, but
Yeah, but he is in a. He's honestly in kind of a bad spot. Because it
like we
like if
really
he gets
we like almost have to have double dragon this turn, right?
yeah, or if he gets like a Raihan might still be okay. That's a Arvin. That's not going to help him.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I don't think
Arvin
he.
wouldn't have helped. Crispin wouldn't have helped. Like in
Yeah,
my head, I think we need an out. We needed an out there to DDE or Raihan. Mello, I don't think Mello does it either. I mean, unless you, no, because you can't even play energy retrieval if you draw into it. So no.
yeah, because both waters are gone.
Yep.
And this is what we were talking about, the color game. Like it's very, very much like your win con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even though he has even though he has that the Torterra pushing forward. Okay, so we do see the Clara there. It's gonna set him back.
going to set him back a turn too,
Yep.
right? And then so now the onus becomes on Espio to try to find some way to gust this.
Well, what's gross about it is if he finds another energy, he can actually just retreat the Torterra and start executing.
Yeah.
And slow the game down until he finds the exact pieces he needs.
Exactly.
Yep. So we do see a fire attached. And again, he's got the stuff to be able to swing the Drudagon. Another important card here right now is going to be Mallow and Lana. So Espio is playing Mallow and Lana. And that would be absolutely devastating if he could find an energy and attach or be able to do Mallow and Lana this turn.
Right. Yeah, heal off all this damage that's on this Torterra so that it's out of range.
Yep.
We do see the fire energy committed for turn to the Drudagon and a pass back over to Espio.
Yeah.
Stone on this Torterra, so like Ghoul said, we're really probably just looking for an energy to attach so that we can get to going with.
Yeah, Espio's hand is massive.
Huge.
So he should have some things to work with. All right,
Herbal.
If we see a Mallow and Lana here, that's going to be devastating. Or a Plumeria is just as gross. Oh, man.
And there it is.
It's huge. Yeah, Espio's hand is loaded right now for sure.
Discarding 2 cards to knock off the fire energy from Lee's Drudagon that he knows that he just put back with that Kalara.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like, what
now,
does Lee do?
Well, I mean, weirdly enough, I think you just have to... Oh, and there's going to become a point where you just have to push this Drampa or this Drudagon up and say, I have to hit Rahon right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to hit. But man, even that's not going to do it because, like we had mentioned, Ghouls, the blue is down, so it's going to have to be double dragon.
Yep. Well, we know
now he's got a blue in hand. Yeah, exactly.
Well, he got the blue and the red off of
Clara. Mm-hmm.
Clara.
So we know he has one. Okay, so there. Okay, here's the double dragon.
So I think he top decked the
Goose Hollow. Yeah, I think so too. Because if not, if you had it in hand, you'd just push the Drudagon.
Yeah, and now Espio is going to be in a really crunchy spot too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Floatstone is gone. He's still got the pivot on the Shaman. But also then again,
Lost City too. Lost City going to be the play now. Start lost zoning this Torterra, and then from there, if the Lost City stays in play, you're in a pretty good position because you could get the benefit of getting another target sent into the Lost Zone. You know, that from Espio's side of the board now, Ghouls, this Drudagon is not getting KO'd this turn. There may be some energy denial, but there is no threat to this Drudagon knocking it out this turn.
Sure. But Lee is in a prime position to just get stuck.
Absolutely.
It literally just takes Flare Grunt energy and
Lana's Aid.
Okay. Lana's Aid. Very interesting. Okay, so he's going to prep for it. He's going to get that Roserade back like we mentioned earlier. So he'll be like one turn behind. But if he has access to Flare Grunt in deck, okay, capture. I don't even hate. Well,
talk to me.
I was gonna say I don't even hate like a Badoo off of the capture.
Yeah.
Because what it could let you do is like prevent any kind of like hex shenanigans. So you could come up this turn. Oh, and we just saw it pass. Okay.
All right. Extra energy attached now from Lee's side. So that's a good thing for us. But, I mean, obviously, if Espio...
Faba.
Okay.
Okay, but we have the grass back still. Right? He grabbed the grass off of the...
Yeah, he did. He did grab the grass off of the Lana's Aid.
Yep. So now it comes down to a really,
Espio
really
should have
situation.
both of Shaman and the... Oh, okay, so the Torterra line is in the Lost Zone, but the Shaman did not put it there. It's okay. I don't imagine that he'll be trying to retrieve the Shaman anytime soon or at all.
Right. Yeah, so he's going to go for the Flare Runt off the Roserade, the La Parfum. It's such a great card. It lets you, whenever you evolve it, lets you search your deck for any one card. And Espio is doing a quick color check right here.
Yeah. So both the blues, 2 of the fires.
So one fire is like what he's waiting on.
Exactly.
And if Lee has the fire energy, I'd like actually feel like, because he's at how many prizes? Let's see.
3.
He's at 2.
2.
Or
2
Lee's
for
at
Lee.
2.
Yeah, Lee's down to 2.
Yeah, it's really crunchy. Basically, what Espio could still do, another attacker that's live, if the Executor goes down at any point, he actually can start swinging with Saul's Book.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that would give him enough time to like knock out the Drogon. Oh wow. Okay. I don't know if I like that, but
well, you've already seen the Faba committed, and you know that the
he
Field Blower
he
can't.
still has Floatstone. Okay, that's good to get rid of that for sure.
All right, Double Dragon down from the Flare Grunt.
Okay, so we got the energy attach. And look, he has Tool Jammer too. But all he's saying with that is that it doesn't matter if Lee gets a gust. Well, the question too is Air Balloon down?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen it played yet. Just the Floatstone from the Torterra is the only tool that I think that you and I have seen so far.
Oh, yo, we saw a pass.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, so what Espio is probably going to look to do here is he's going to start trying to knock these energies off.
Yep, and here we go. Let me see.
I can't quite make out how many cards are left in deck, but it looks like it's probably less than... It's probably right around 5 based off of how we're shuffling. And again, with the Eggmill deck, this is exactly where you want to be. But Espio has a lot of resources down, and so he's really given, Lee has some time to find that extra energy.
All right, over to Lee now. Turns are going to be going quick now because we get to this end state, this end game state. Okay, pass from Lee. Back over to Espio.
Got the Flare Grunt.
Oh, no. Yep.
Yeah, I think Lee is basically toast at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him scoop. Because the thing is...
Another pass back to Espio. These turns are... Yeah, we're going now. I mean, this is quick.
Yep.
Sinlin.
Yep, draw through. Yeah, he's about to be, like, recycling every other turn. So this is about to be brutal. And an important thing for our viewers, now, the state that we're in right now is really, really cool. So the parallel city is flipped where it's reducing Lee's bench size, but it's also reducing damage from fire, water, and grass Pokemon by 20. So what that's doing is that's now putting Blockade at doing 0 damage.
Exactly.
Which that means that Drogon is never going to get knocked out.
Yep, it's sitting there.
Yep. Oh my god, and the fire energy commitment too. Air Balloon. Okay. Yeah, and see, this is the 20 ping. And I don't think this is going to be enough, Logan. I'm going to be so real with you. Yeah. He's going to be able to ping 20, and it's not going to matter.
Right.
Because of the cape, actually. The cape is going... Yep. You see the Plumeria.
Turn after turn. It's going to be energy removal, energy removal, energy removal.
Yep. And I would hit the... I would hit the active, for sure. And Lee's just going to run out of energies.
Yeah, if you're Lee here, it makes me wonder why what we're playing towards.
Espio did not grab Surge, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
yep. Yep.
Okay, maybe you did earlier. Search for Lusamine, and then for yep, cheer. Yeah, it's such a cool loop. So at this point, he's able to reoccur all these super powerful supporters every other turn.
Exactly.
With the Saul's Buck, he's got no cards in deck, so he's going to be able to draw through it by the time he can surge, and he's just going to be able to deny the energies.
Yeah, and he's never
Over
going to go ahead on
and
prize
over.
cards. He's never going to be. He is literally exactly where he wants to be. We got to the lock with Lee having 2 prizes left in the game, and that's exactly enough.
Yeah, and we saw a Rocket's Handiwork. This is going to be a card that's going to let Espio really speed up this situation. And so, Rocket's Handiwork, you flip 2 coins. For each heads, you get to discard the top 2 cards off your opponent's deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so we're about to see, Espio start looping this now that, with all 3 fire gone, that's it. Like, he's just going to have to deal with the 20 ping because Lee will never be able to attack with a Drogon again.
Right.
And he's never going to get a chance to do more than 20 damage. So, is that 2 heads? Yep.
Yeah, I think we saw Hex milled last turn.
Yep.
Ghouls. So, with no Hex as well.
He wouldn't be able to play Hex regardless because of Executor's attack.
Executor. Yeah.
Yep.
Blockade.
All right, so we got a 20 ping, and we're probably just going to see a Flare Grunt this turn. Yep. Knock the fighting off. Yeah, he's scooping. Yep, cool. And that is a prime showcase of what Eggmill can do. It's very, very, it's a very, very devastating lock. We mentioned about the Luxcape going down there. In hindsight, that was a fantastic play by Espio because that, it didn't matter at that point with the colors that were gone. So he was just able to, normally you would be able to put the Tool Jammer there and just trap anything active from ever retreating.
Yeah.
But again, you get to the point where you don't have enough energies to even attack with these, Pokemon that need such a heavy energy cost to swing. It's like you're not going to get there, right? And then another important card there in this discussion is Mallow and Lana. So he was going to be able to say if he got him to 180 damage, Mallow and Lana, you're going to reset for 12 more turns.
Yep.
It's crazy, or not 12 more turns, but you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So if you're Lee here, I think what you're looking for is you're looking for an explosive turn, and I think you're looking for just Raging Bolt to create havoc, right? Utilize that Lost City, and you're also hoping for a really bad start from Espio. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, something along those lines. One thing that I wanted to point out while you were kind of going on there, I just was amazed at the speed at which everything picked up. Great control players, they get to this point in the game where they realize they've got the lock down, and then things just start flying off the table. We were right at the hour point left in the match, and the last 5 minutes of the game, so many turns back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that just incredible to see the way that the deck is performing. I hate to see it at the demise of our teammate here. And like you said, I think the answer is definitely we got to have a fast start. I would like to see, obviously, Bolt was a non-factor last game anyway. It did get to attack, but it never became the liability because Torterra knocked it out so early. So, I can even see Lee thinking that there's a possibility that that's okay to do, but I don't think that it is. I think that, like we've discussed, it's something where you want to be getting Dramp on the board. There we go, optimal starter. So,
and we start with the Shaman again.
Yeah,
fantastic starter. You get to avoid all of the early. Are you force Lee to have a lot more answers to the questions you're putting up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the issue with Box in this matchup is just okay. So we said Drampa, fantastic attacker in the matchup, right? Because like it doesn't matter what type of energy types you need, and
Sure.
then hitting 140 also kills Vileplume on the 130. That's an important number. But what other attacker can you use in the matchup that's not going to fall apart to color restrictions?
Yeah,
It's
and you
tough.
can never only have the one down because Torterra will wipe
Torterra.
eventually it will wipe the attacker off the board. The wall breaker, this is what I would call a perfect control style deck from the aspect of what we consider to be control-y decks in TCG for Pokemon in general, for standard play or any other variant. Definitely have to have a strategy to be able to mill cards. We have the energy denial, that's there as well. But you have to have a wall breaker. There has to be someone who can take prizes if the game gets to a point where you have to knock something out that's standing in your way from possibly executing your strategy out to a win. So
Yeah.
Torterra just is that guy in this match,
You
in
know,
this deck.
speaking of Torterra though, Logan, we did. Oh, by the way, Lee's definitely rocking the signature Eggmill draw
Yeah, the
drawn
sleeve.
energy.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And we just see like literally just an Avery. Okay, so something interesting to note. Okay, we're gonna see a Hisoon heavy ball, I believe, this turn.
Yeah, because you would
Uh,
have imagined that with all the search that we saw played down, that we would have saw Turtwig if it would have been there.
yep.
Yeah,
See,
so there we go.
first thing. Yep. So he's gonna be able to get set up. Again, it's a little bit of a slower start than probably what he's looking for. But I almost don't even hate. Oh man, I don't even want to say that because I don't think like Badu. Badu is just kind of everybody once like Eggmill like took season 5 on the async playoffs. It was right before Badu was
Right.
dropped,
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
so and everybody was like Badu, like that's gonna make that deck like literally completely like next level good.
Yep.
But the truth is, it's actually kind of one of the weaker cards in the deck. I really don't like it, to be honest. I think it doesn't do enough for the amount of resources that you have to put in. Like even for like this instance right here, if you wanted to attack with Badu, he'd have to attach an energy to the active,
Right.
um, and that's an energy gone. We're talking about a deck that only plays 6 energy.
Mm-hmm.
Logan, you can't afford that.
No.
You know, that's definitely really tough here. But we are seeing like a really strong like stabilizing of the board.
Yep.
And there we go with that getting the Roselia down too. Um, I think in a perfect world here, you are able to just go TM Evo. But I don't think he has the energy in hand. Yeah. So we see probably a pass
Just
there.
a pass back. Yep.
Yeah. And if you're Lee right here, you're definitely wanting to get stuff set up. Like,
Yeah, we love a Crispin. Ooh,
yep.
okay. I mean, even just
All
swinging for
right.
70 is gonna be fine, right? You're not at threat this turn. Okay, we're gonna
Oh,
go after
wait.
the
Yeah.
rose. Okay, yeah, I
He's
like
calling
that.
it
I
out.
like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
I like that too. This is going to say a lot of what's in his hand. All right. It's showtime.
Moth coming. Yep.
I predict a Guzma Hollow. Or, okay, Arvin.
Arvin.
He's got Ultra Ball in hand. So I could see a like cape and okay, all right. Or we're going TM Evo.
Yeah, just electing to take a couple turns to establish the board from here. It looks like.
Well, what's going to happen right here is he's going to be able to get Vileplume on board this turn,
Sure.
and so he literally just puts Lee right at a clock, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm going to have the counter energy next turn."
Right.
This one might be a quick one. Lee's definitely going to need to get some more Pokemon down. And the commitment of the DDE just like, I don't know, what does that tell you, Logan? What are you thinking when you see that?
That they're well, I'm not sure because he used it in conjunction with Boss. So I'm not going to say that there isn't another energy in hand because, again, he used it in conjunction with Boss to be able to swing for 70 on a target that he desired. So I'm not sure.
Okay, so we do see the tossing of the TM Evo. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Maybe netball. Did you happen to see netball at all?
Well, I saw it.
Yet?
I saw it be grabbed on the ball guy last turn, but
okay, so he's gonna come up and confuse. All right,
yeah,
there it is.
there the netball was. So it wasn't committed.
Yeah, but this also is literally the same thing as
Vileplume. Exactly.
Vileplume.
Yeah, you're item locking into confusion. I mean, this is
Yeah, it's probably
just as good, probably better, honestly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because he has counter.
He's just one basic energy away from.
Oh Lord. Yeah, this is rough.
Yeah, I think like you said, Ghouls, this could be a quick one here. We have to see some Pokemon come down.
Even if it's Pokemon that you don't want to, don't want to see. I see at least a letter in his hand and a Raihan.
Yeah, neither of those cards live.
Mm-mm. And a Clara too. I think I see a Clara and a bunch of items. Floatstone. Okay, so we do have a Goose
Let's have Goose Hollow. So we will be able to search out another Pokemon as long as Stormy Mountains is in the deck.
Yep.
Now, I don't believe that we've seen a deck search yet from Lee. So this could be a very scary... Okay, Stormy Mountains is in the deck. So we can retreat this Drampa, use TM Turbo Energize if we have an energy in hand.
Well, he can get one off of the Goose Hollow if he's got the Prism.
Yeah, the Prism. The Prism. I didn't see it on the immediate look through. I think I just...
There it is. Okay. I was about to say, bro, not like that. Okay, so you're getting probably... I would imagine he would get Tatsugiri here. Because then if he gets the Tatsugiri too...
I don't know, man. This is sketchy.
It's still bad. He wants another Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And if you're Espio, I think you're breathing a pretty big sigh of relief. But
like you said, if you've identified that he has counter energy in hand,
yeah,
the instant that Lee takes this, well, Lee's already ahead on prize cards, right? So it's not going to take knocking out this Moth. Espio could literally could go into it next turn anyway if he wanted to.
Yeah, and if I'm Espio, I don't even want to do that.
No,
probably this next turn. I'm probably wanting to sit back, develop my board, maybe start denying some energies. Like, did we? Yeah, okay, got that, bro. But even if he benches the Druddigon, yeah, okay. If he comes up in Druddigons, he's still like putting himself in a really bad position.
I agree. I think as weird of a spot that it was, Tatsugiri's probably the correct answer.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, even the discarding of the grass energy feels really rough. But like, also he's gonna TM energize, right?
Right.
But if you have some form of energy denial this turn, like you are feeling real good. Like a Plumeria on the back end would be pretty good too. And with Kate being there, like Faba's still an option that Espio has to watch out for. But again, this goes into what we were saying in between matches. It's like, what attackers are you really wanting to
I
power
have
up?
out. Right.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right, so we're gonna see a Sun-Drenched Shell, and look, I would not be surprised if Espio starts trying to develop the egg next as that other bench spot.
Yeah, we
But
saw it get pulled up there. We saw
mhm.
both the egg and the egg senior get pulled up there as a search while SBO was checking the deck.
Yep. So I'm curious on what other supporters he has in hand.
And
But
like
again,
you
like
said, we're not gonna see. We see the Sundrent Shell. They're committed for the Gloom, so we're not gonna see this
looks
Torterra
like
this
that was
turn.
a
Look with tails. Yeah, leaving the
tails.
fan out the hand. So
So that's been like a. It kind of feels like maybe he's close to 50-50 on the flip.
yeah, we saw a couple heads in that first game, but we also saw a couple of tails at this point.
Yeah. Another important factor that we haven't talked about yet is like while that Torterra is massive and has 190 health, we also play Dragonium Z
Right.
in the in box, so that guy is not safe. You've got a Drampa just like loaded with energy.
Yep.
So and it's only basic energy though. So
It is.
um,
So you would need to still see another one committed.
mm-hmm. But again, he doesn't have to, right? He doesn't have to go in yet.
Mm-hmm.
He could just hit. Oh yeah,
I don't
that's
think
really
he's
good.
going to at all. In using that Sun Drench for Gloom, it told me that he's very content to play this slow. There's
Yep,
the counter energy committed though now.
yep. Which is like I have mixed feelings about it. It's like
Yeah.
it forces what it does is it forces Lee to have to use the Faba if he finds it
Right.
on like a bunch of different honestly bad choices, right? It's
Right.
like because the deck
Yeah,
also
because
plays
then the
for
cape
reversal.
sticks, or
Yep.
yeah.
Ooh. Okay,
Crispin.
this is great. Lee's gonna start putting some pressure on
Gosh, but
with
again,
the
goalies,
active.
this is I mean, is he gonna be putting pressure on with the active?
Can he flip heads?
Yeah, I mean, are you taking that chance? I guess
I think
so.
you have to at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this
Because you're
is
not gonna
again.
retreat
No,
these
if you
colors off.
what's gross though is like he just benched Roselia too, so
Right.
that means that means he literally has access to whatever card he wants in deck next turn.
Yep.
So Lee is feeling that he's got to push forward. Let's see what he's got. Float. Okay.
Okay, now
Great.
that's
Yep.
fine. Yeah, that's a different story now. Yeah,
Yep.
now that you don't have to commit those energies, this is a totally different scenario.
Yep. The only thing that this does is that makes the Draconium Z nothing to worry about.
Sure.
He can keep on pivoting back and forth and just kind of like threatening that way.
So do we have a cape on this Venomoth already?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Another card to
Okay,
consider
so
here.
now there's the heads. So now he has hand knowledge.
Okay, so let's see. We got 2 energies, Raihan, Clara, and Switch card. So that hand is dead in the water right now. He'll be able to like basically deal with 3 attackers. Yeah, if I'm
Wow,
Espio, like
Bloom.
I actually probably would push forward the Torterra right here, knowing that he has the float on the bench. I really like that play. We also have to think about so he's definitely eyeing that play up this turn. Yeah, dude. Oh my
versus
god.
Seeker
And
for
that's
Cynthia and Caitlin.
yeah, that's exactly what you want to see with oh my gosh, with the egg. Like that's so gross. Um so what execute does, just to let everybody know, is it
Mhm.
has an ability called propagation. So whenever it's in the discard pile, it can be put back to your hand. And so what you kind of use it as is like a free discard card, right? So like when you're using cards like Goose Mahala, Cynthia, Caitlin, Ultra Ball,
Mallow
Quick
and
Ball,
Lana.
Malibu and Lana, this is all free, right? Like
Yep.
and then you just can put it right back to your hand. It also makes like recovering the Pokemon and like using the executor like a lot easier. It's just one of honestly one of the more unique abilities in the game, and it lets you do things that you should not be able to do.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, even
So
more
yeah,
so than the extent of Giratina, right? Just because, like you
yes.
said, you're able to get it back, and then once per turn, it goes to your hand. So over the course of the game, you can use that as free discard fodder time and time again.
Yep. And look, we're seeing that. We just talked about it.
Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, here comes the
And
Torterra.
and Logan, I can't stress this enough. He made this decision because he saw Lee's hand.
Sure.
And like that is just how strong Gloom is. Like
Yeah.
it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, once you give a control player the knowledge of the opponent's hand, it takes things to a whole nother level. It makes it to where the opponent is relying on the top deck for any new information that can take the player off guard. But as
Mm-hmm.
long as we see cards from hand, then you're not going to catch them by off guard at all. Your plays are going to be mapped out in their head probably just as well as you've mapped them out in your head already.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna see a revenge for 160, and we got to keep in mind the Roserade is live. I believe he got Arvin back last turn.
He
Okay,
did.
so we
He
are
did
gonna see
off
a
the
Mal.
Sinlin.
All right, we are gonna see a Mallow and Lana for sure, and that's
Yep.
gonna take
There
that
it is.
Torterra out of knockout range for Drampa.
Yep.
We're gonna see a Floatstone committed. Yep.
A clinic, ghoulies.
Yeah, this is feral. And Lee did not want to see that Mallow and Lana this turn.
No.
The only comment I have about this is I would love to have seen the float go onto the Vileplume. But also like the another like headspace could be that the Vileplume, if it gets gusted, it might just get knocked out. So we're gonna see a Raihan. And if he
Now
has
Lee does
another,
have Fighting Fury belt, so does that do well? He doesn't. He may have another energy in hand. He obviously could go the route of the
yeah,
Dragonium.
Fighting Fury belt would
Does
do
get
that.
him there. Okay.
Yeah. Did you see what he grabbed?
No, it was immediately face down.
Yep. So he's definitely this could be scary, right? We're about to find out. I did not. Okay.
So energy attached. Do we see the belt?
There.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to give this Drampa a little bit more health. That should be just enough for a KO. Yep.
Yep. So what we're going to look at then is a great turn from Lee for sure. It will buy him some solid time. And let's see if Espio can respond to that. I mean, he at least has the Venomoth.
And what's the damage counter on the Drampa for? What did I miss?
Oh, he got hit by. Oh my God! It looks like. Yeah, it's got 10. Is it 10?
Yeah.
Maybe it only has 10 damage, but I thought it. It didn't hit into confusion, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I missed something here.
No, I mean it got knocked out and we clawed for it.
All right, so we're gonna see a Roserade. I would imagine Alana's here. Okay, now we're gonna get a Guzma Hollow. Yeah, I'm very curious on what he's looking for. Might just need an energy, but Alana's would have gave him the energy plus the Torterra back.
Yeah. I did see Rare Candy go down, so even if he does come back for this Torterra, it's going to be the long way again. So.
Oh, you know what? He has the knockout with Vileplume. If he has 100 on him.
I can't
you think
tell. I don't know what I don't know what the damage is from. That's what I was saying. I don't. Lee deciding not to play with these little dice, so I can't really tell. No, just a run turn. Run into Roserade Pass. Yeah.
I would have really liked to see him to use, because are they tied at prizes right now? Oh, they are tied.
4-4.
I'm very. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do. I low-key think there's a world where you grab the Lanas instead of that. But I can't. This is all up in the air with not knowing about the damage. But
yeah, and I couldn't tell. I tried to zoom in, but I couldn't see.
Yeah, I don't know what he would have got off of that. And this is letting this is really letting Lee.
Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, right, Ghoulies? I mean, the first knockout was on that Drampa. Second knockout was on the Druddigan.
Yep.
I don't know where this damage is coming from on this Drampa. That's what's got me the most confused. There was no attacking turn.
Right.
I'm going to go find out. Hey guys, let me stop you for a second because I've got a question. What's the damage on the Drampa? No, what's the damage on it from? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we just can't see what the number is because Lee's using the tiny dice tonight. So, all right. No, you're good. Thanks, guys. All right, so it's 10 from a Venomoth attack under parallel.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
So that would be the turn that was missed.
Yeah, so I think Espio's routing now. It's going to really tell if he goes into if he starts Salzbucking, but he can Salzbuck this turn, hit for 60, and then the next turn, hit for 60 again, and then whatever Pokemon he promotes, he just puts the Tool Jammer on, and the Drampa will be knocked out. So he's putting them on a 2-turn clock. Okay, but we do see them. Okay, that's exactly what I want to see there.
Yeah, so like you had mentioned, we want to grab back the Torterra line, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe you go Grottle and like the first two and an energy. Mm-hmm. I also see that being really good.
Sure.
Yep, see, that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, because you don't need the Torterra for a couple of turns. Like I had mentioned, you're not going to be able to rare candy into it anyway with Vileplume online.
Yeah, see, exactly what we're talking about. We got the bounce. it's such a great attacker to like go in with counter pressure.
Yeah.
Um,
I've seen you use this Sawsbuck to great effect over the course of
yep.
games. So
And we're
10
also
damage
bumping.
on that Drampa right now. We're going to see an additional 60 from this bounce.
I think he sends up the shaman here.
Yeah, I would. I don't see any reason to not, unless, like you had mentioned in the beginning of the game, you foresee a world where Lee doesn't attack, but that's not realistic.
Yeah, Lee literally has one turn to find a Pokemon,
Right.
or else he loses.
Yep.
If Espio sees the bounce play into a jammer. And what is Lee thinking here? I see at least one energy. We might see a gust. Okay.
So there's Gust. Gust KO.
Okay. He has an energy in hand.
He identifies the correct target there, because like you had mentioned, Espio was in a spot where the bounce into Jammer just wins the game.
Yeah, that was reversal, right?
That was counter, I believe, or
because if reversal is still alive, he can just come up and attack with the Vileplume if he has it in hand. I would imagine he doesn't want to attack with the okay.
Yeah, I think that actually, now that you say it, I think that reversal was on the Buck. The counter was on the original Torterra.
Yeah, and you know what? Lee has done a great job at just getting back into this game. He Espio might be going all in on the confusion stuff here. He's also
Possible.
looking at energy denial too.
All right, here's Surge. Surge in conjunction with
Lusamine.
Lusamine.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's really good.
Mallow and Lana. And Lana's Aid. And then he'll have the option to play one of these. I imagine it's going to be Mallow and Lana to heal this damage off.
The problem is that he doesn't have. Okay, yeah, he's just telling him, he's like, if you don't answer this, then I have game.
Yeah.
I mean, Espio's giving him time to
playing the Mallow and Lana here signifies that we are going to heal off this damage from this Moth, but probably run into the Shaman, pass.
Yeah. You know, if he would have gotten
there we go.
If he would have put the float on the Vileplume, then there's a high chance that he would just still be able to attack with the Venomoth this turn and confuse.
Right.
Okay,
so like you said, Espio definitely putting Lee on the pressure right now. We have to have another Pokemon.
I'm not seeing it, bro.
Seeing it. Yeah.
We got Volkner. Holy cow! What's that? I'm trying to think of what that other card is. Okay, look, Lee knows. Lee knows that's game.
Yeah. How do I get another Pokemon, dog?
I mean, he could just not knock out the. Yeah, but it looks like he scooped. His best bet there is just like not knocking out the Shaman, but I mean, bro, that's still just
brutal. Yeah,
that's brutal. Like you don't have an answer to that. You're not going to power up another attacker. There we see just a heartbreaking loss from Lee. I mean, just couldn't. It seems like he just couldn't get the attackers going, and I think it really shows a testimony too to like how strong Eggmill can be in forcing you to just not want to play the game any certain way, right?
Right.
Like it's like, okay, if I don't bench Pokemon, then I'm going to get ran over by Torterra. if I bench too many Pokemon, I'm going to get trapped by Executor. And we just saw, both players play, I think, the best to what they could have. Um, and unfortunately, just Lee kind of got to a point where he just couldn't keep up with, couldn't find the Pokemon he needed at the end.
Yeah, not being able to play balls, not being able to play those item cards is really detrimental to, being able to locate Pokemon, especially in this World Dragobox. We don't really have much more in the way of search for Pokemon other than that initial Stormy Mountains play. But if Stormy Mountains gets bumped early, then, you're in a world of hurt against a matchup like this where you're expecting to see item lock turn after turn after turn. And then full item lock as early as turn 3, sometimes turn 2, right? And at that point, you've probably been item locked out prior to that by the Venomoth. So it's just tough. It's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. It's definitely, again, well played by Lee and Espio both. It was cool to get to see Eggmill be able to kind of show what it was doing or what it's capable of doing. Yeah. And I tell you what, Lee definitely played to his outs, right? Like,
I agree.
Seeing that Fighting Fury belt there at the end to knock out the Torterra was awesome. Like, that just like really shows like value in Fighting Fury belt, because if it was Luxcape, that wouldn't have been
not doing enough. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a really strong argument for people kind of considering in the future like what kind of HP boosting tool that they want to play in box. I think we as a team have been back and forth, right? Yeah. Logan, which one of those tools do you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, it's just definitely kind of one of those application things. Like, I value the cape to be able to live a hit in the early game so that you can keep the pressure on an early bolt possibly, or even late game you get a cape on a Drago that takes it out of range so that you can kind of finish the game with a late game Drago. But I definitely see the strength in the Fighting Fury belt. And I know that Lee was very excited for that card, especially specifically in the matchup tonight, because of Drampa specifically again, for a little bit different reason. One for the 30 on a Badoo never came up, but it's accorded for, right? It's like accounted for.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're playing Eggmill correctly, you're probably never gonna be using Badoo if you don't have to. Yep. And we saw turn 1 item lock. Well, I think Espio went first both games, right?
He did.
So you didn't really need to go for that, but we just saw there just being stronger options in setting and developing your board up. So I think Espio's play like really highlighted the headspace of like not going for like necessarily like an immediate item lock pressure, but just going for a dominating board, right?
Yeah, and that's what we saw. The board state was just immaculate as early as turn 2 both games. So that's where it shined for sure.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Logan, you got any other thoughts on the matchup? Any thoughts about the decks?
No, sir. I think these were a fun couple of games and a clinic to what can be done with Eggmill if you route it right, see your cards right. Definitely a dominant performance for the deck. So, while we hate to see one of our teammates kind of take the loss, that's the whole reason that we're here tonight. It's because the Eggmill archetype is a Ghoulies brainchild. So, it's one of those weird, bittersweet moments. Like you said, you're watching your children fight. So,
yeah, absolutely. Both players are awesome. Lee being our teammate is huge, and you hate to see the loss. But like you said, I mean,
it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup. Yeah. We know it.
Yeah. Walking into it, Lee knew that he was going to have an uphill battle.
Yes.
The thing to state there is like Lee definitely knows his outs. He knows the matchup.
Absolutely.
Lee and I have played that matchup a lot. And
he's mentioning in the chat right now all that recovery, but can't use it.
Yeah. It's brutal. But anyway, what a great night for card sports. Am I right?
For sure. And we will be definitely coming at you guys with some more content this coming week. I know that most of us, unfortunately, for the way that the whole streaming process goes, most of us this week hit British or across the seas opponents. And so our games were kind of at weird times where it just wasn't really conducive to stream for all of us. That's what we want here. I don't want to be coming on here without one of my guys at least to be able to commentate the night with me. It's kind of different whenever you have to work all the odds and ends by yourself. So I love having the guys to be able to fill the space whenever I've got to kind of fix stuff. But this week, hopefully that's different. We won't know until the pairings go up, but definitely be on the lookout for us for some streams, some content this coming week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Ghouls and myself, guys, thank you for spending a part of your 4th of July weekend with us, and have a wonderful rest of your night and day.